Welcome to the Hard Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we are doing a Tubi spotlight again. We have a director, Bobby Murno, who directed Damien, an excellent movie that's right now streaming on Tubi. How's it going, Damien?
Hey, Travis, doing very well. Thank you very much. Yep.
Great. Okay. So, yes, I had a chance to watch the movie Damien last week.
Okay.
Um, I definitely enjoyed it. It's definitely it's a found footage documentary style
Yeah, so
horror.
sort of like a mockumentary. Yeah.
Yes. And so, what was your inspiration for the movie?
Um, I've been working in the film industry for about 10, 11 years, since about 2010, and then once COVID sort of hit, the industry really quietened down, and there wasn't much work happening. Everyone was very quiet. Up until that point, I've been doing sort of working both in front and behind the camera. Worked on a lot of big Hollywood productions like Game of Thrones, Dracula Untold, Transformers 5. I'm working behind the camera as AD, sort of runner, you know assistant director, in a small capacity. But basically, learning the ropes over the 10 years. So when the industry quietened down during COVID, we decided, well, why don't we make our own film? And then obviously without a budget, bit of a passion project is what it basically started off as. So we tried to, what can we do with no budget, no money, and very little equipment. The idea of basing the film partially in truth and reality, which is basically the first part of the film, the interview section of Damien, is me just basically sitting down with a friend and interviewing him, asking him about his everyday life. He is a farmer. He is actually a vegan and a beef farmer. So that whole element of it is truth and just me sitting down with him, and then we throw in the twist of what if he was actually the leader of a cult of ginger people, and sort of ran with it from there. We had no expectations for the film when we made it. It was basically something to keep us busy, while the industry was quiet during COVID. But when it was finished, we thought, right, well, we'll put it in a few festivals, see what happens, and then it started winning awards. So then we looked for a distribution deal, and then before we knew it, it was picked up. It's out there on Tubi, on Amazon, on POV Horror Channel. The DVD is actually coming out in a few weeks for it, and
Right.
that was basically our introduction into stepping up and making our own films. And then from there, we thought, well, if that's what we can do, sort of half-assed, messing around, let's actually put a bit of thought and a bit of money behind this and see what we can do seriously. So and then the production company, Ram Productions, was then born, and the rest is history then.
Nice. And for me, um, watching this movie, it gave me the Blair Witch slash Midsummer vibe with an Irish twang to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it definitely, to me, give it a connection from two great movies. Now, was this movie shot entirely in Ireland?
It was indeed. I'm trying to remember. I think 90% was shot on my friend's farm. He has a bit of ground and some, a very small forest with some trees around. So 95% was shot there, and then the other 5% was shot inside my own house. So it kept. I mean, it was basically made for. There was a few props that I had to pay for. Apart from that, there was no money involved. So it pretty much is a real zero budget film.
So will there be a sequel to a Damon? Because kind of gave it an open. I'm not giving away the ending, but it kind of gave that.
Well, what we've actually on the back of the success of Damien, and with the idea of trying to do something, I'll say properly, but more professionally, with with a bigger budget, bigger cast. The sequel is actually going to be called Gingers, and it is a pretty much a follow-on, but not in the same found footage mockumentary style, more as an action horror. So the story continues. Some of the cast may change. We have the likes of Sam J. Jones, the original Flash Gordon.
Nice.
So we've a deal with him to be in it, and Manu Bennett, if you know him from Spartacus or Arrow. So the two of them are going to be in the sequel, and it'll be bigger and better in every way.
I'm looking forward to that. So when does production? Do you already have a script?
We have a script and everything put together. We're currently in pitch stage for it, so trying to get the funding together for it.
Okay. So as a director in 2023, what we say is the biggest challenge right now to make a movie, to be a filmmaker?
I mean, funding is always one of the biggest obstacles. I mean, you can have all the talent and passion and experience in the world, and make the best script, the best production breakdown. You can put all the work and effort into it, but if you can't get the money to make the film, it's not going to go anywhere. So that's one of the biggest obstacles. But I mean, at the moment in the industry, there's obviously the writers' strike in America, which looks like it's going to be going global. I know it was in the press today in the UK here that the Writers Guild of Great Britain and Equity, which would be the equivalents of the American unions, they're talking about supporting them over there, and going on strike here as well. And from what I believe, not all the issues, but some of the issues, AI seems to be something that keeps popping up.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
A lot in conversations, even over just the last couple of weeks. How is that going to affect writers? With AI, even down to supporting artists. I had a conversation yesterday with a group of friends, and the talk seems to be with supporting agencies for supporting artists or extras, that rather than coming on and going through the process of being rented out, or getting so many days on a TV or film set, that they basically get a one-off fee to get body scanned, and then the agency then holds that rights in that body scan, and then that using AI can be used to put anybody into any background without them physically being there. Which, I mean, obviously it has upsides and downsides. The downsides is obviously how it's affecting everybody that has brought the industry to where it is at the moment. Do you know what I mean? The industry wouldn't be here, without the writers and without supporting artists and without anybody else. Whether or not you agree, it could potentially bring costs down. When it comes to especially low budget films, if you could populate backgrounds and stuff, for a fraction of the price, so it's certainly a sort of double-edged sword. There's ups to it and downs to it, and obviously that's something that's going to have to be discussed and overcome, before any of these strikes are over with. So it'll be interesting to see what way it takes.
So being a director in the UK, are you getting a lot of support from fans in the US?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Okay. I mean, especially in the horror genre, there's a very big following over there. I would say at least 75%, if not higher, of our audience would be, American-based fans. So we thank you all very much for that.
No problem. That's what we love.
Yeah.
So tell us about. So you got a new movie come out. It's called Hope. Tell us about Hope.
So
What's
Hope,
important?
Hope has just been released a month, maybe 2 months ago
Okay.
on Tubi as well. And then I believe next week it's coming out in Amazon and then Hoopla and the DVD and stuff. So again, that was basically taking our filmmaking process to the next level. Damien was done with zero budget. Hope has a bit of a bigger budget. Was done a bit more professionally, and it is a survival thriller based on a vlogger who goes out on an adventure, has an accident, and has to overcome a number of obstacles to make her way back to civilization. It's basically a story about hope and optimism. Everybody has struggles and difficulties in their daily life that they have to overcome. Everyone has hurdles. Some people talk about them, some people don't. But everyone has things in their life that they have to overcome to keep moving forward. And that's the basics of what the film Hope covers. The idea for the story, again, is the basis of it is based on a true story. I do like to keep my films have an element of truth in them. So our DOP, Matt Ockerfeld, he went climbing a few years ago just by himself, something which he should never do, completely stupid of him. But went climbing by himself, just free climbing and bouldering, fell, had an injury, tore all the ligaments in his ankle, and it took him 6 hours to crawl back to his car to get phone signal to try and get help. So that's where the idea for the story came from, and then obviously it's dramatized. Matt didn't actually go through everything that our character Hope goes through in the story, but the idea of somebody having an injury while they're out doing something by themselves is the premise of where the story began.
Okay. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. It actually popped up on my recommendations. I was like, oh, I got to check that out.
Yes, you should give it a look. It's again, it was relatively cheap. The budget on that was about 120,000. So not cheap by my standards, but cheap by Hollywood standards. But the likes of the score in that film, our composer for that, Kayla Murphy, she's just out of university, just completed a course, and the score in it is phenomenal. But everybody that's seen the film, whether or not they like the film or get the film or enjoyed it or not, everybody is unanimous in saying how fantastic the score is in it. So we're really proud of that. And the actors for that plays Hope, Cy Larkin Coyle, did a phenomenal job. I mean that woman put herself through 3 months of training for the film because the budget didn't allow for a stunt double, so everything you see her doing in that film, she did herself and really threw herself into it.
That's pretty incredible.
Actually, a funny story about that. Well, when we were doing the auditions for it, we were looking for someone that had experience with wild water swimming and rock climbing and all these other extreme sports. So Saib actually came in and same as everybody else, yes, I've done this. And then we got to the end of filming, and she said, I think I better tell you something. I've never done anything extreme whatsoever. I've never done any sort of water swimming in the sea. I've never done any rock climbing or abseiling. But she basically once she got the job from the audition, she threw herself into it and just learned how to do it and done it all on the day, and was magnificent.
That's awesome.
Magnificent. Like it couldn't have asked for a better actor to do it. So she was great.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to be checking that one out.
Yeah.
So, Bobby, how can we find you? Are you Facebook, social media?
Yes, Ram Productions. You can get us on Facebook just under Ram Productions. Instagram, Ram Productions NI. I think we're on, not great with social media myself. We're on the new,
Okay.
what is it, thread? Yes, we're on that new thread thing. That's
Twitter?
thread. It's the it's a new one that's supposed to be rivaling Twitter.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm proud to say we're on thread and TikTok and stuff, of course. I've got people that look after. I'm not the youngest, so technology is not my best field. But yes, we're on all the social medias just under Ram Productions, and you can check us out on IMDb and see what else we have coming up. Our other new film that we're actually working on at the moment stars Art Parkinson. If you know Art Parkinson from Game of Thrones,
Game
or
of Thrones,
Dracula,
yeah.
yeah. Art played Rickon Stark
Hmm.
in Game of Thrones. So he's going to be in our new film, The Vanishing Village, which is a ghost horror story based in the time of the famine in Ireland.
Really?
Yeah. So that's our next project that we're pitching at the moment. Fantastic script's been completed for it. Art signed up to it. So again, we're sort of dealing with investors and production companies and distributors at the moment, trying to get the funding together for that one. But that's going to be a great one, that one. So keep an eye out for The Vanishing Village with Art Parkinson coming up too.
Definitely check that out. And one of these days, I'm gonna get out to Ireland. I've been all across the world, but I've never been to Ireland. So one of these days, I'm gonna come out there and say hi to you.
You need to get
So
as long as you like the rain.
yes, I mean I don't mind the rain every once in a while. It forces you to relax. So
Yeah.
well, Bobby, it's been a pleasure coming to the show. I'm going to definitely have you back on for your next movie.
Thank you very much.
Also, everyone, please check him out on social media as well as check out Damien and Hope
Yeah.
on Tubi and Amazon as well.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right, guys.
And if you watch it, make sure you leave a review as well. Be much appreciated.
Yes.
Helps the algorithm if you leave a review.
Yeah, so leave reviews. Damien, you're going to be pleased. So if you are a fan of Blair Witch or fan of Midsummer, you're going to love Damien. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'm going to see you guys next time. Take care.
Thanks, guys.